Oh shit, am I making a video right now? Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. It's been so long, I am a YouTuber. What is going on, Rise of Kingdoms fans? Wispy here, and as some of you know, I am in the military, so I had to go away for some training, but I'm back now and ready to get back on the grind. All of those who subscribed while I was gone and stayed subscribed, you guys are the real MVPs. Cheers. But today we are going to be talking about the 4 mistakes that people make right before and during the off season of KVK. And the first one that I want to talk about is investing in commanders too early. So a lot of people, they get really excited when they obtain a commander or they have their heart set on maxing a commander. What you should honestly be doing is don't invest and max a commander until you honestly really need them. Save your heads, because you want to invest in the commanders that are really good or meta at that time in the game. So like a few KVKs ago, I made the mistake and I invested and I finished off Richard, Genghis Khan, and I also moved my Constantine to 5511. And in total, it was probably around 500 sculptures that I could have saved. And I honestly don't even really want to use these commanders in the open field anyways. So I just keep thinking to myself like, man, I wish I had saved those heads. I could have put those into Trajan by now. I could have put them into so many other commanders. And so I pretty much learned from my mistake. And right now I'm actually sitting on almost 1,968 legendary universal sculptures, and I'm probably either gonna go with YSS because I already have Zenobia expertise, and honestly I had a hell of a time being a garrison lead. But even though 9 times out of 10 I did really well with Zenobia YSG, it's just Zenobia YSS is just on another level. And where I already have Zenobia, I kind of feel like it might be a waste if I don't expertise YSS. But I'm going to wait and I'm going to see what the kingdom needs. We need another Zenobia YSS. I'll go YSS and somebody else. But you see what I'm saying here. I'm not diving full in because trust me, I want to finish off Guan. I want to finish Trajan. There's so many commanders with how the game is now. You get your hands on them so quickly that you start to struggle with who to invest in because you start to accumulate all these commanders, but it's almost like gear. You get tons of legendary gear, but it's like the materials, man. You need the materials. It's the same thing with the universal heads. You have all these commanders, not enough heads. So you want to, it's more important nowadays to make the right decision for you, your play style, and what your kingdom needs. Just do it when the time is right. There's no reason to invest in a commander in the off season. There's just no reason to. Now, mistake number 2 that a lot of players make is they craft their equipment too early. You know, they finally get the materials to make something and they're like, I'm gonna make it, especially if it is a legendary piece of equipment. Like, you get really excited, like, hell yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be? It's a piece of legendary equipment. Like, it's the ultimate goal, right? But you want to craft the equipment that you need, but it's hard to know exactly what you need until you need it. And there's no worse feeling than investing in a few pieces of equipment, especially if it's legendary, and then you're like, oh crap, you know, I'm actually going to use this march more. I should have made this piece of equipment. So the best thing to do is just save your materials, wait to see what marches you're actually going to do. And it kind of ties into point number 1, investing in commanders too early. Well, if you invest in your equipment too early and then you change your mind about what commanders you want to use, they kind of go hand in hand. So you want to know what commanders you're going to use in the field, if you're going to be a rally lead, a garrison lead, mainly an open field, like all this other stuff. So you want to hang on to those materials and just craft when you're ready. There's no reason to rush it in the off season of KVK. And I know some people are gonna be in the comments like, but Wispy, what about Sunset? Dude, Sunset is just, that's just about like a pride thing. Like nobody really gives a crap about Sunset, man. Like this game is about getting kills, slaughtering your enemies, and just putting yourself in the best position possible. So just like point number 1, you should wait to invest in your equipment until you actually need it. Like I know some people are like, yeah, well, content creators only do that for content so they can make a video where they craft a bunch of legendaries. Yes, you would be correct, but it's also a blueprint, no pun intended, of what other players should do as well. Like, yes, we do it for content because people want to see us craft a bunch of legendaries, see if we get special talents and stuff like that. But that's how you should be playing it too. Stack up your materials, do it when you need it. Mistake number 3 is you're not calculating all of your items that you have going into KVK. This is something that you should be doing like probably during pre-KVK and maybe periodically throughout the off season of KVK. Is you want to go through here and you want to calculate everything that you have. Okay, you want to know how many resources you have in total. You want to know just like how many universal chests you have, how many of the regular ones that you have. You want to know how many speed ups you have, so that way if you plan on going hard in the paint when it comes to pre-KVK training event, you know how much you can train, how much you'll have left over to heal troops. Like you just want to know what you have in the bag. That way you don't get halfway through KVK and you're like, man, I wish I didn't go too hard during the training event or just other stuff. You're like, man, I wish I just saved more than I did. Because last KVK I went pretty hard during the training event. I think I trained like 1.2 million T5s, and probably 3/4 of the way through KVK I was like, man, I have no resources. Like that's the reason my resources, like I'm recovering pretty decently, but I mean I also spend pretty decently. But if I was like a really low spender, I would be screwed for this KVK that we're going to be going into in about a month or so. Like I would have like no resources in here. That's because I didn't calculate what I had. I just got caught up in the moment. We were going against Kingdom 307. I was super hyped. I wanted to be prepared, and usually I always do this before every KVK, but I didn't last KVK and I kind of suffered for it. So you should always know what you have. Point number 4 goes hand in hand with number 3. You're going too hard during the pre-KVK training event. You want to train a bunch of troops, you want to go into KVK with a bunch of power, and you run yourself dry of resources and speed ups. And so yeah, you have all this power, you train a bunch of troops, but how are you gonna heal them? Like you have no resources or speed ups, or you only have enough to do a few really hard fights. Like the way you should prepare for KVK is expect to have days and days of just straight fighting, because there's always that potential, you know. It's not always going to be, oh, we fought for 12 hours in each zone and it was over. Like yeah, there are KVKs like that, but there's also KVKs where you just fight for days and days and it just seems like it's never going to end. Well, you don't want to be that player like halfway through that fight and be like, hey, I'm tapping out. Like I can't do anything anymore because I have no resources or speed ups. I can't even heal my troops. Like all I can do is just fill rallies because those are just deads anyways, you know? Which, I mean, that's fine. That's the heart of a fighter right there. Like, dude, I can't do any fighting, but guess what? I'm gonna send my troops to die. Hats off to you. Like, that's what you should be doing. But open field in garrison is still important, because half of your severely wounded in a garrison goes to the hospital. If you can't heal, well, they're just gonna die. All of those are my top 4 mistakes that a lot of players make in the off season and leading into KVK. I make some of these, like I said, I did number 1 and 3 in separate KVKs. If you guys made any of these mistakes, let me know in the comments below. If you can think of any other common mistakes that players make that you think I should have added in this video, also let me know in the comments below. If you are not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We come out with guides all the time. Also, don't forget to like the video. But until next time, I'm Wispy Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next video.